Welcome back to my channel, or I guess you can say me and Key's channel, because Key is actually in the video today.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be doing part 2 of reading Reddit stories. Yes, I know that part 1 was like 2-3 years ago, but that's not the point. Better late than never. So today we're not going to be doing Am I the Booty Hole, because we just want to switch it up and be different. And so we're going to be doing creepy encounters. So without further ado, let's get into the first story.
I would have burnt off a frolic of hair.
Oh wait, y'all, we gotta do it again because why it didn't work. Without further ado. All right, here we go. Okay. We gonna get into the story. We just gonna get into it because it's not. Okay, we got it to light. This is, y'all can barely see, but this is Black Sherry Merlot. Real tea, White Barn, real tea. Okay, so first story. Kid banged on my door crying for help at 3 a.m. Okay. So this happened. Hold on, I can't. Okay, so this happened last night. Around 3 a.m., me and my brother were woken up by loud banging and crying at our front door. We live in a rough neighborhood, so naturally my brother grabs his shotgun, cocks it loudly, and starts yelling, "It's 3 a.m., go away," through the door. We were both tired as hell and freaked out. We recently had a girl from the neighborhood break into my car, so we assumed it might be her. I looked through the front door windows. We've got a one-way film on it and didn't see anyone else around. I crouched near the door and listened. It sounded like a young kid, completely hysterical, begging us to help her call her mom. I told her I was calling 911 and that help would be on the way. My brother, in full adrenaline mode, opens the door, still holding his shotgun, and starts yelling at her to calm down. I didn't agree with this approach, but in all fairness, she woke up about half the block from her screaming while she was pressed up against our door. After he opened the door, I got to see her. Honestly, I was kind of hoping it was a homeless person from our area or even someone looking to do some weird shit to us. But it was a kid, and the look in her eyes while she was kneeling at our doorstep made my heart drop. I was thinking she was around 14, but she said someone crashed into her car down the street, and she left her phone in the wreck so she couldn't call her mom. Things were really adding up as I asked her a few more questions. She kept begging me to go down the street with her, but I told her no way, we're waiting for the cops. About 10 minutes later, 3 tow trucks arrived by heading toward where we told the 911 the crash happened. So I felt safe enough to walk with her down the street. On the way, she keeps asking to hold my hand. I'm just thinking, you look like a teenager. You're barely dressed, and I'm a grown man walking you through the neighborhood that you woke up. Not a good look. I awkwardly asked how old she was. She said 18 and grabbed my hand. Anyway, oh, wait, why is she grabbing your hand?
Wait, I thought they said it was a baby.
No, they said it like she looks like a teenager, but when he asked how old she was, she said 18 and grabbed my hand anyway.
Oh.
Who else is scared? Okay. I felt very uncomfortable, but her emotions were definitely outweighing mine at the time. Halfway there, the cops show up. I flagged them down, explained the situation. Meanwhile, she's telling the officers over and over, I have really bad ADHD and anxiety, while handing me her eyelashes.
Girl, if you don't put your eyelashes back on.
A full set of false eyelashes. I really didn't want to touch them, but I took them just to help her feel a little safer or whatever. What? How is that making somebody feel safer? Here, take my eyelashes. It'll help me feel safe.
I have ADHD and anxiety. Take my lashes.
I don't think something that... Okay, maybe... Okay, it is called a creepy encounter. Let me keep reading.
Creepy, baby. This is giving creepy pasta.
That's... Huh.
Wow.
Next video. So, what's next? Okay. One of the cops pulled her aside, and the other starts casually asking me a few questions. He He told me they got another call about 30 minutes before that a teenager was running across someone's lawn barefoot, which I looked over and realized she was barefoot the whole time. Then I saw them cuff her. I think they suspected she was on something, which I was 50-50 thinking. After wrapping up, the officer sees me still holding the eyelashes and goes, "What are you gonna do with those, bro?" I just told him I'll sleep on it. I just want to go to bed. So I head home and started talking to one of the neighbors about it. He assumed that it was her parents' house or something, so he didn't want to get involved in domestic drama. Makes sense, and I just assumed that's why no one else got involved. I couldn't really go back to sleep because I was shaken up and pretty worried about her. I imagine it was a traumatic experience for her. I don't know if that was a justified reaction for her situation or if she was really on drugs or mentally ill, but I will definitely be praying for her and her family. Excuse me?
I
One,
don't think that one was so creepy. I think that one was more so like,
it was like kind of concerning, not creepy, but it's like, why are you, what are you doing? Like, okay, why did you leave your phone in the, she said she couldn't call her mama because she left her phone in the wreck, which means that she had her phone. So why didn't you grab your phone before you left, and why was you just running? Like, I don't, something not right.
Something not pulling. She said, "I have ADHD and anxiety. Here go my lashes."
Something not seeming right about that. But hey, at least she got the help she
needed. I was really
need.
expecting for them to go down that street and then it wouldn't be no car, no wreck down that street.
That's what I was thinking. But I was like, that kind of do sound like too obvious, you know?
Yeah.
Call the cops.
They did.
Okay, well, here's a comment that someone left on the video, right? A young teenage girl once knocked on my elderly mother's in-law front door in the middle of the day in England. She said she was looking for her nan who lived down the road but who wasn't home. Acted distressed and asked if she could have a drink of water. Mother-in-law took her in the kitchen and gave her a glass of water. Girl took it with her fingers bent and so her pads didn't touch the glass. So I guess
what?
like something like this or like you know. So she didn't get her fingerprints on the glass, I guess. Mother-in-law thought it was strange, but thought she was disabled. Next thing, she heard a noise in her bedroom and was hit and knocked to the ground as a man ran out of the house with the girl and her valuables. They left her on the floor in the hallway, and she laid there all night in her own urine.
What the?
It was the one bloody night where we didn't call and check on her as one of the kids was unwell and it slipped our minds. If she hadn't answered the phone, we would have gone straight around when she didn't answer. I wish I could have had 5 minutes in a locked room with those two. So long story short, don't even answer your door. At this point, keep all your doors locked.
Why are we answering the door at 3 a.m., baby? I mean, the bed had the shotgun. I would have tapped on the door with it. Bow, bow, bow. Get away from my door and kept it pushing.
But also, that's another thing. Why was she out at 3 a.m.? You're 18, cool. But like, what was you doing? Who really be out at 3 a.m. for real?
Half a class of 2025. They don't know how to go to bed.
Okay, the second story. Almost got kidnapped. That's the whole title. That's the whole title. Almost got kidnapped. So I know many of the Redditors here might have never been to Brazil or know of the happening in Brazil. As a rule of thumb, you stay alert in Brazil when you are walking around in major cities like Rio, Sao Paulo. You remain on high alert. You use common sense. Don't flash your fancy watch or your fancy phone. Don't wear some blingy chain around your neck. Don't wear a fat diamond engagement ring while walking down the street, etc. Now, bless you. There are parts of the city that are quite safe and you will have zero issues. There are some parts where you use common sense, and of course, every city in the world has sketchy places. You avoid unless you want to end up raped, robbed, or worse.
Hello?
Hey, I mean, it's kind of the truth. I have been living in Brazil for 7 years, moved here with my wife who is Brazilian. On a Thursday evening, we went to our local mall. It's not a very famous one. You won't find a Chanel or Gucci, a Chanel, I think he was trying to say, but he spelled it wrong. A Chanel or Gucci in this mall. But you will find some decent brands, Adidas, Nike, what have you so. So we opt to park in the highest level of the parking tower as it's open and well slightly more spacious. As we have a bigger SUV, we entered the mall to run some errands, pick up our dry cleaning, grab some food, and hit the stationery store. We realized quickly that we seemed to be followed by a boy in his early 20s or maybe in late teens. In fact, it looked like he had on a school uniform under his hoodie and maybe a backpack on too. My first language is English, so I speak English with my wife, and she's also a native English speaker regardless of being Brazilian herself. This does draw attention to us as almost no one...
Easy.
This does draw attention to us as almost no one here speaks English unless it's working professionals in some financial districts in the city. Even that is seldom. We realize we are being followed by this kid, but we think we are being quite paranoid. Maybe we made it apparent we were onto him or that we might have caught wind, but we entered chocolate. Are we sure that his first language is English? Because he might. Okay, anyways, but we enter, I guess, a chocolate store to wait out and see if he waits or passes on. He seemed to go away. Maybe that too, but like he's not spelling the words wrong. It's just like his grammar. Like he said, instead of a chocolate store, he said, but we enter chocolate store to wait out and see if he waits or passes on.
His first language is not.
Maybe being in Brazil for like such a long time, I guess maybe it's going away, but I can kind of understand what I'm saying. Oh.
Sorry.
No. Okay. He seemed to go away, so we just figured we were being paranoid. We proceed to the open area top level parking, and as I approach and click unlock on the key fob, getting closer to the car, I notice one tail light has a strange orange glow instead of the regular red hue. We reach the car, and I notice many pieces of my broken tail lights on the floor.
Uh-oh. I told you.
Excuse? Within a second of reaching our car and taking in what happened, another car pulls up next to us and honks at us. I look at the windshield and notice it's our vet and her husband. Okay. I was like, what? Okay, it's our vet and her husband. They smile at us and come out to say hi to us. We tell them, well, look, someone hit our car. How terrible. My vet's husband and I inspect the car and notice that the taillights were broken deliberately as no other part of the car was damaged. So no way that another car hit our car and just, went on about their day. No, this was a person purposely just breaking our taillights, or maybe a motorbike. Confused, we go back inside the mall, seek out security, and head to our security office, right? The mall has insurance, so they said that they would proceed to start paperwork on getting our lights fixed. They also looked up the video, and in multiple cameras, you can clearly see the guy who we thought was following us was accompanied by someone else and hurrying around the corner towards us as my wife and I approached our car, but they stopped as my vet and her husband got out of the car and started walking to us. You can see them in the camera just calmly turn around and walk away, all while constantly looking back. Security proceeds to alert all guards and call the police and start a search of the young sleuths. Maybe that's a Brazilian word because I've never heard that before. All the young sleuths. That may be what that means. The security then told us that a few malls and banks have been hit by thieves who will break your taillights to distract you into standing and staying outside your cars. They run up behind you and usher you into your car at gunpoint and order you to go to the nearest ATM to clean your accounts out. Or worse. It was ridiculous luck that at that exact moment, our vet just happened to pull up right next to our car. A minute earlier or later, and I believe we could have been kidnapped. Never going back to the mall, at least never parking away from any of the mall entrances, and we have decided to speak in Portuguese and keep English to a minimum when we are out and about to draw less attention to ourselves. I don't
Okay,
think
that wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't make any sense. Okay, people that, correct me if I'm wrong, people from Brazil, they speak Portuguese, do they not?
Mm-hmm.
So why would they want to speak Portuguese?
I think they're saying that the reason that the guy was like following them and wanted to kidnap them is because they thought they were like Americans because they were speaking English in there. And so I guess they're saying they want to speak more Portuguese, so they don't think
That
that.
don't make no sense. Wouldn't you want to speak English?
I'm not gonna play with you. Honestly, I can't say much. I don't live in Brazil. I ain't never been to Brazil.
I don't plan on going to Brazil. Ain't nothing out there for me.
What I will say, I didn't know that like Rio was like, because I feel like
Rio.
I feel like Rio is the place where everyone goes to like visit and like vacation because of that freaking movie with the birds, you know?
Let me take you in a Rio.
So I didn't know that like they was like that over there, if y'all know what I mean.
I can't see straight, I'm blind.
We know.
Did you get that in the video? Oh my days, y'all, I'm not blind, I can see.
Okay, y'all, so this is the third story. My makeup look orange right now, but y'all just trust the process. Okay.
Trust these nuts.
Man following me and my mom in a grocery store.
I don't like it already.
Oh, okay.
I don't like it.
This happened in Gilbert, Arizona. Okay. Also, I'm gonna read what's at the bottom first. So yeah. I tried to post this on the Arizona subreddit, but they banned me saying I was spreading false information. I'm trying to keep people aware of their surroundings. Okay, that's scary. That's concerning. Because what are y'all trying to hide? Let's get into it. My mom and I went to the groceries at Safeway. I guess that's some grocery store in Arizona. And we were standing in the aisle when a man walked past staring at me. Of course, I thought it was nothing and brushed it off, so we kept walking. But he ended up following us to the deli and still staring. I still thought it was nothing, so we walked away. But then he followed us again. I was still staring at me like he was mad. I told my mom, and she wanted to go further into the store to see if he would keep following us. And he did.
Is they white? That's only some white people stuff right there. First of all.
And the Western guys.
Well, there too. First of all, if somebody is following me and looking at me weird in the store, I'm gonna look at you weird back. And then I'm gonna tell my mama. And then I'm gonna tell the clerk in the front.
And then we finna go.
Follow the man.
Then we finna go.
Okay, my but continue.
Right.
Are they white?
They probably are. It doesn't say, but they probably are. Look, I told my mom she wanted to go further into the store to see if he would keep following us, and he did. When we were done, we told the store manager, and he walked us to our car. He said he was really sorry and that he would look into the security cameras to get info with the police. That's all. That's the whole story. So.
Because why the store manager ain't do nothing? They should have gave you a free discard or something.
Why your mama trying to, your mama a gangster or something? What do you mean she trying to go further into the store?
Like you. Your mama was hoping y'all would have got kidnapped that day. Because what do you mean go further into the store to see if it's gonna get you? Hello?
Your mama don't like you, hun. I'm sorry to tell it to you, but your mama do not mess with you. Sorry, my nose contour is a bit hard.
Okay, but how do I split that into two?
How are we feeling so far?
I think we're feeling good. $8.99 divided by 2.
The real question
Okay.
is, are y'all ready for the next one? Because, baby, this one a little scary. I found out my neighbor was living in my attic for months.
What? These people gotta be white. Because how do y'all not know when somebody is in y'all house?
I still think somebody living in my attic. I ain't going up there to check, but I think somebody living up there, and I don't care. They can stay up there as long as they not down here bothering me. So, I guess the wildest thing I've ever experienced happened last year, and I still don't know how to explain it without sounding like I'm making it up, but here it goes. It started with these little things going missing. I live alone in a pretty quiet neighborhood, so I figured I was just forgetful. A protein bar here, a sock there, whatever. Then my TV would be on a different input than I left it. Nothing huge, just enough to make me second guess myself. The weirdest part, I'd hear those fake bumps in the ceiling sometimes. I chalked it up to, raccoons or whatever. My house is old. Stuff creaks. But then, one night, I came home late from work and I could swear I saw a shadow move past the vent opening in the hallway ceiling. And you was still there? I'm confused. You was still living there?
You would have had me when I heard a little couple of thumps in the ceiling. Oh, nah, baby. It's time to go.
Girl, you would have had me when my TV was on a different input. If I came home and my TV was on a whole different input, my TV stay on the same HDMI 1. Like, why are you not,
I don't know. I don't think the TV would have alarmed me because I don't pay attention to the TV like that for real.
And TV most definitely would alarm me. If it's on HDMI 1, if it's on HDMI 2 instead of 1, baby, I'm staying at a hotel for the night. But I told myself I was tired, my imagination, but I couldn't shake the feeling. So I set up one of those cheap motion sensor cameras I bought off Amazon, pointed it straight at the attic access panel in the hallway. 2 nights later, I got a notification at 2:17 a.m. Motion detected. Bro, I get chills. What you mean motion detected at 2:17 a.m.? Girl, I would hope, okay, if it's in the daytime, I would hope it's a person. But if it's in the nighttime, I would hope it's a ghost. I would be less scared of a ghost in the nighttime than a person in the nighttime. Does that make sense?
It's Annabelle.
If it was Annabelle, I wouldn't be as scared. But if it's a man, I'm gonna be scared. Like, I opened the clip and my stomach dropped. There was a person climbing down from the attic. Like,
oh no,
full
baby.
on. Like, full on, quietly stepping down the ladder, looking around and heading into my kitchen. I froze. Girl, why are you freezing? Jump out the window. Okay, they were heading into my kitchen. Bless you. Bless you.
You want
Thank
more?
you.
I froze. I was in the house at the time that clip was taken. I called the cops immediately, locked myself in my room with a bat, freaking out while they did a full sweep. They found no one at first, but when they checked the attic, there was a little setup in there. A sleeping bag, some snacks, a small camping stove, empty water bottles. Someone had clearly been living up there. The person was my neighbor's grown son.
Oh.
And baby, that's some real horses in the stable. Baby, horses in your attic. Do not love the way they ride, but okay. The person was my neighbor's grown son who had apparently had some drug issues and got kicked out a while back. He broke in when I was on vacation a few months earlier and just never left. He sneaked down at night to grab food or watch TV. So that's why I was on a different, okay. He got arrested. I moved out 3 weeks later. I still have trouble sleeping in total silence because now every creak makes me think someone's crawling around above me. And that's it.
Like I said, because he will be paying for the rent that he has, everything that he has used in my house, including the TV. You're paying for it. I really just feel like you just need to do a thorough look at your house after you come back from like any trip, because you never know what's in your house and what's not in your house.
I feel like my family used to do that real bad living in our other house, because we lived in like not a sketchy area, but
Stop dying.
Like every single time we would come back from vacation, we would turn on the lights. My dad would go in first. He would take his little, he would do a little sweep, and then
Taser. I'm sorry.
So is this the third or fourth?
I think this is the fourth one.
Okay, one of those. We're gonna put it on the screen.
Okay.
This one is called When Women Are the Creeps. Hello. I'm sorry. Hello. I recently decided to move to a new city. I wanted to save up, so I roomed 3 other roommates using a roommate matching service. All 3 of these people seemed off when I first met them. I'll call them S, A, and M. You know that feeling you get in your stomach when you know something isn't quite right? I dealt with that feeling hard. She's not asking you. I dealt with that feeling hard in my old apartment unit. I couldn't sleep or eat regularly. I felt like I was being monitored. I was. I spent so much time and energy avoiding them. It angered them, and I made a careless mistake that made M blow up. I used her kitchen towel. It was an emergency, and I couldn't ask her permission. Didn't have her number, and she was spending time with her boyfriend. She blown her top in the kitchen, and I felt so guilty / dumb and afraid of her. They all seemed a bit too eager to get to know me, and I knew better than to fall for that. I mean, they had a whole group chat they made no effort to include me in. Eventually, after weeks of hearing them raise their voices / friends with their boyfriend, invade my personal space, get too loud during intercourse, deliberatively make me uncomfortable by using their pets as a tool and monitor me through a doggy camera. I'd had enough. Uncomfortable.
Spying on me through a doggy camera.
Right. That's actually insane. That's pretty bold.
That's actually insane. If you don't trust me in your house, you shouldn't have let me move in, sister.
Mind you, I don't know how this started. She said they met like during a roommate app, but I don't know if they all moved in at one time or if 2 people or like however somebody was already there and then they were asking for more roommates. I don't know how that started, but yeah.
More or less, if you don't trust nobody at this point, just put the cameras up around your house. Or at that point, you don't need no roommate, because that's actually really excessive. I don't like that. That's insane.
All this, along with staring at my body and making comments on my appearance, I was being pushed around and extremely uncomfortable in a place I paid for at the same rate as everyone else in that unit. Okay, T. I confronted S and A. S cried and was low-key begging for me to say that it was okay for her to be loud. What? Oh, okay. For her to be loud. A pretended to be okay when I asked her to mind her volume. They wanted everyone to hear them, and they got furious when I expressed my discomfort. And they continued doing it anyway. Okay. Well, at least you talked to them about it, so you can't say that you didn't talk to them about it, because obviously you did. So, one thing I noticed was that as I expressed myself, A started standing up, and I saw her pupils dilate. What? Is she mad? Like, I'm confused. Is she a vampire?
Girl, she must be one of those girls that be like, oh guys, when I get mad, I see red.
I see red. Right. Okay. A started standing up, and I saw her pupils dilate. I backed off her as an attempt to... I backed off her attempt to get me to argue. Okay. As for M, I raised my voice and kept my hands extended out in front of me as she brought her dog in the kitchen. I was not nice about it. I didn't curse, though. She knew that she was doing... What? Okay, she knew what she was doing every time she let that dog around me. She knew I was uncomfortable, and I could see her face light up in a smirk every time. Side note, I caught M staring at me one time silently and say to her boyfriend that my... I'm sorry, I heard something. I got scared. I don't know if that was thunder. Okay, I caught M staring at me one time silently and say to her boyfriend that my backside looked like an ant's.
Oh.
Basically saying that she had a big booty. That her backside looked like an ant. She put looked up emoji to look.
Here.
One of those. I had everybody to tell her to leave me alone. I had taken a picture. What? Oh, A had taken a picture of me that same night also. Okay, so I guess they was really obsessed with her booty or something. I don't know. But yeah.
I'd be obsessed with my booty too, you know what I'm saying?
Anyway, M slammed her door and called me a bitch, and yet she was back outside a few moments later to provoke me once again by letting her dog roam the house. She was catching glances at me to see if I was reacting. A had provoked me throughout the week through sexual and verbal harassment, and at one point I heard her waiting for me with her boyfriend in the living room. The guy said he wanted to expose himself to me since that's what I wanted.
Girl, call the cops.
Another throw up emoji next to that. So what is she telling him? Cause what? I didn't leave my room that week. I just heard it all happen. They were all so mad I didn't leave my room. In the meantime, I filed a complaint to the office the same night I confronted all three of them. Eventually, my room reassignment was approved and I was out of that unit within 2 days. They all must have felt this weird entitlement / resentment towards me. It felt gross and slightly rapey at times. And honestly, I'm glad I never tried to befriend them. I'm glad I listened to my gut and stayed in my room for that week. I'm glad to be away from them. And that's the...
That was the span of a week?
Pretty much. I believe so, yeah.
Call the cops.
Like, I know you got your room assignment moved and maybe that may be enough, but in case it's not enough, like...
Call the cops. Call the Special Victims Unit.
Story number, I don't know, so we gonna keep adding it up here. It's called Maintenance Man.
Maintenance Man.
I'm guessing it's about a maintenance man. I, female, moved into a new apartment a few months ago and live alone. I have been continuously creeped out by the maintenance guy. I can't tell if he is just nice and nosy or possibly has bad intentions. On my move-in day, he already knew me by name and was waiting by his truck to greet me. I am 27 and he is probably in his 40s or 50s. And I think, as mentioned, that he has a daughter. In the first few weeks, when I would work out in the gym, he would constantly walk by and I would catch him looking at me. Okay. The first time I had a maintenance request, he started texting me from his personal phone about the request, kept asking if I would be home, I was at work, and came and left the unit multiple times according to the text. After he left, he texted me about how he noticed a magnet from my fridge from North Carolina and wanted to know why I had it and started chatting about his personal life and how he used to live there. This was in the evening over text after the maintenance request was completed. I tried to be short and sweet in my replies because I didn't want to have a personal conversation with this man, but didn't want to be rude. Also, seeing as I have about 15 or so magnets from different places on my fridge, I thought it was weird that he was standing around reading all of them. He then started texting me every time I got a package to inform me it was delivered. The next time I had a maintenance request, he brought a package in for me. The package room is all the way across the complex, mind you, which may have been a nice gesture, but still felt a little strange to me at the time. I sent him an email asking that he please communicate with me over email instead of text for organizational reasons, because my texts delete frequently. This is not a lie, but the truth is I was feeling uncomfortable with the texting. He agreed to this. Last night, I submitted a new request about my HVAC, and he sent me a message in the portal that he would be coming by in the afternoon. Again, I was at work. I didn't see any updates posted about what he found or fixed online. When I got home from work, I see a note on my counter. It is handwritten. It says he is not ignoring me, but has been advised by the office to not have direct written communication with the occupants. Okay. I would like to give him benefit of the doubt, but I expected the note to be an update about the maintenance request. And now I'm wondering, why would the office advise him to not talk to residents? Maybe someone else was uncomfortable with the texting communication and told them. Also, the fact that he knows he is not supposed to communicate with me and chose to leave me a note anyway does not sit right with me. And that's the end.
Call the cops. Y'all not doing the one thing y'all need to be doing, and that's calling the cops, baby. Call the cops. Call the popo.
Maybe he just needed a friend for real. Oh.
My little straw was him, like, picking up the packages and stuff, because you never know what, like, somebody could put in, like, the packages. You never know.
Yeah.
It's easy to retape a package and make it look brand new.
And, like, kind of the fact that he took his time because the place where you get the packages is, like, all the way across the complex. So, I don't know. Maybe you was just one of his favorites.
One of my favorites?
But I think you need to check your house, girly, because the fact that he got keys to your house, I get it, he's the maintenance man, that's what he's supposed to do. But the maintenance man being weird, he got keys to your house, I feel like you should most definitely talk to your little apartment association that you have. And
talk to your landlord, or not the the people, the landlord.
Yeah.
I think something like that. I think that's what it's called.
And tell them that you want a different maintenance man and that you don't want him to have his key because you just don't feel comfortable with him. I don't think you have to even tell them the reason why. I don't think you got to be like, oh, he's creepy, whatever, because I don't know, maybe you just don't want to tell them that, and that's fine. But
girl, you ain't gotta explain yourself. Just be like, hey, this man creepy. Y'all need to do something about it. I'll do something about it.
So yeah. But if he come back again, call the cops.
Valentino and shoot him. No. Well, I don't care, Jay.
All right, y'all. This is the last story. So y'all better enjoy it. So. My uncle set me up with a guy who ended up stalking me. So this happened 3 years ago. I was 24 and living alone in a one-room apartment in the city where I had graduated. I rented this apartment because my uncle lived in the same building and helped me find a place with decent rent. My uncle was well known and liked in the building. There were over 90 apartments and he seemed to get along with everyone. Barely 7 months after I moved in, I woke up to a friend request on Facebook from a guy I didn't know. However, I noticed that he was friends with my uncle, so I figured he must be a neighbor or someone from the building. I saw that he was close to my age and thought, why not? So I accepted it. I didn't think much of it afterward, but then he started messaging me, saying that he was my neighbor and that he knew my uncle and whatnot. I was polite and responded within a reasonable amount of time, even though I wasn't particularly really interested in having a conversation. I thought it would be rude to ignore a neighbor, especially since my uncle was so known in the building. At this point, I already suspected that my uncle was trying to set me up with this guy. I was single and the neighbor was close to my age. My uncle was the type that always asked, do you have a boyfriend? Or are you still single? As if it was any of his goddamn business. My uncle knew everyone in the building and this guy was the only one that sent me a friend request and seemed eager to talk to me. I had a strong feeling that my uncle was behind it. Anyway, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't interested, but I remained polite as long as he didn't cross any boundaries. After all, we were neighbors. And I wanted to maintain that as a civil way as possible. What annoyed me more, though, was when one day my uncle came over and asked me to help him with something on his Facebook account. He wasn't tech savvy, and yeah, we lived in the same building. I often helped him with these things. I logged into his Facebook, and immediately a chat window opened up. The message was from that guy. It was the only message in the chat, as if the rest had been deleted. It seemed a text that was part of an already ongoing conversation. Though I don't remember the exact text, the message's main idea was that he needed my uncle's help, followed by a laughing emoji. At this point, I was pretty annoyed because I was sure my uncle had said something to him about me. I started replying to his messages less frequently as I wasn't interested in any kind of romantic fling anyway. I was just being polite. I never led him on. Eventually, the text became less frequent and I assumed he had given up. I moved on and forgot about it. Then one day, after finishing work, I worked remotely. I decided to go get some groceries. The moment I opened my door, a pack of chocolates fell to the ground. They were somehow placed on my doorknob. I was confused. Why was there chocolate at my doorstep? At the time, I didn't immediately suspect him. There was no note left. I simply picked up the chocolates and placed them somewhere in my room. A few days later, yet another gift, a small potted flower. This time, however, it was really creepy because there was a note glued to the pot. It read, "I saw you and I liked you," with the smiley face emoji at the end. Okay, so this is the point where everything stops being funny. This is the point where, okay, I'm gonna call the police now, right? Right, okay.
No, you know from the last couple stories we didn't read, they have this thing where they don't call the police. I don't know what's up with that. Y'all need to get with me. Call the popo.
Call the popo. Call the popo. I saw you and I liked you with the smiley face emoji at the end. Now, imagine this. A young woman in her 20s, living alone, receiving anonymous gifts with notes that say, I saw you. That's hella scary for me, right? I don't know who this person is, and they casually mentioned that on a note glued to a pot. At this point, I became paranoid and started thinking about who it could be. Lo and behold, my neighbor texted me. It suddenly all made sense. It had to be him. This had already crossed every boundary. However, I was scared to confront him directly because I didn't know how he would react. This guy was massive. I am pretty tall myself at 5'9", but he's about 6'1". Way more muscular than me. And he had a big dog. Plus, he knew exactly where I lived. So I decided not to address it right away. Instead, I waited to see if he would somehow give himself away in his messages. A week passed. I was still paranoid. I bought pepper spray. I started listening closely to footsteps near my door, trying to figure out if he was coming by again, but nothing happened. I wasn't sure if it had stopped, but I started to feel slightly better. Then one day, I went to check my mailbox. Inside, I found a bunch of small notes and poems. Some of them read, I hope you like the chocolate. I would love to know if you like it. You are charming. So you still ain't called the police, but it's okay. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. The poems were strange. Each one was 4 lines long and had a romantic tone. I couldn't tell if they were his, but they all expressed different ideas regarding love. The weirdest part? Each note was dated. For example, one was labeled 11/1/2021. And I had one for every day of the month. That meant the person had been leaving them consistently. I also realized that the same day I got the chocolates, I had received a note about it. Only I didn't check my mailbox on that day. At this point, I had had enough. I confronted the guy over text. He completely denied everything. He said that he liked me and my style and just wanted to get to know me. He acted offended, asking why I would accuse him of something like that. No matter what proof I provided, he denied it all. At one point... Okay, y'all, we have to switch it up because I ain't got no storage on my phone to be playing with y'all. This is our 4th time recording this. It's our last time recording this, so don't play with me and do exactly what I tell y'all to do. Shut up and listen. Thank you. At this point, I had had enough. I confronted the guy over text. He completely denied everything. He said that he liked me and my style and just wanted to get to know me. He acted offended, asking why I would accuse him of something like that. No matter what proof I provided, he denied it all. At one point, I even started to gaslight myself, thinking, what if it really wasn't him? What if I was being mean for no reason? I felt guilty. I don't have definitive proof that it was him, but come on. The timing was way too much of a coincidence. The moment I confronted him, all of it stopped. I think it was pretty obvious. 3 years later, I still live in the same building. He usually just says hi when we pass by, and that's it. I feel safe now. I haven't been bothered again. Oh, and my uncle moved out, so yeah, it's a happy ending, I guess. Alright, so basically what I've been saying, that's all I do. Basically, even if he's still living in the same apartment as you, you need to get out. Your uncle not the problem. He is a little bit of the problem, but he's not the problem. That man is the problem. And you saying that he walking past you and saying hi and stuff, that ain't cute.
That's my hands.
Okay, that ain't cute. So you need to get out of there. Key, what did you say for the 15th time?
Basically, y'all need to learn how to call the popo and put yourself in witness protection program. I cannot keep doing this anymore. Y'all need to figure your life out ASAP, no Roxy.
ASAP, no Ferg. ASAP, no Nas. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. Please go watch our other videos. Go watch our other Reddit stories. And we're going to be coming out with part 3, so look out for that. And if you don't watch it, I'm going to hunt y'all down one at a time and take y'all toes. And that's it. Thank you.